This is fine.
When you think of what YouTube is, what comes to mind? You might think of various things. The huge catalog of videos, the creators creating the content, a platform to express your interests, or even a video archive full of old shows, cartoons, and even internet videos themselves. Or you may think of the corporate side that YouTube has unfortunately become. LD Entertainer asked me a question. What do you personally think the future of YouTube will be? And it took me a bit of time to think about this one question, but I think I have an answer now. However, at the end of the day, there is no definitive right answer to this question, but I'm going to try my best to answer it anyway. I think YouTube will still be around, mainly because it pretty much has a monopoly over internet video content. And when others tried competing, they didn't even come close. Even with that, it's still unclear if YouTube even makes a profit. What does make a profit are the videos that users create on the site thanks to the monetization system. However, with demonetization being introduced, YouTubers have had to make their videos more compliant to the system, and due to it, this results in more family-friendly like videos. I do think the bubble will burst with these family-friendly videos at some point. YouTube has been listening to feedback from the community more recently, so we might be able to express ourselves without getting that pesky yellow dollar sign on our videos. Although it doesn't help that other problems like false claims, video strikes, and even false channel takedowns are still a problem. I do hope these problems get resolved over time, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Overall, I do think YouTube will become a better platform over time, but the golden days of the website have been far over. Although I do hope this site does become better for everybody. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some business to do. And I think that was everything. Wait, I forgot. Hold on. Alright, I'm done with that. Y'all better do the same. See ya.
YouTube's future, to put it bluntly, will be hell for a lot of people. For years, the site has become overrun with corporate accounts and people attempting to expand their businesses in some manner, and it's clear this is the direction that YouTube wants to take. Because these businesses have stakes and things to lose if they make a mistake. And it goes without saying that anything with a pre-established following will grow faster because of brand recognition. This applies with celebrities as well. In my opinion, YouTube will continuously take steps to benefit that crowd while silently hurting everyone else. Because, despite being the majority, the rest of the channels on YouTube don't make nearly enough money to outweigh the corporate accounts. In fact, drama and commentary channels have actually created controversies that unfairly cause advertisers to pull from the site, losing YouTube millions. When viewed this way, non-corporate accounts have actually lost money. Because of this, YouTube will most likely keep granting corporate channels more advantages while lessening those of non-corporate channels until it becomes impossible for independent users to go to a height where they may pose a threat. And at that point, the site will become nothing more than a watered-down version of cable TV, ironically becoming the exact thing YouTube was created to oppose.
Hello, I'm Jack, or Jack Animations. I'm a small YouTuber with just around 170 subscribers, and I'm here to talk about the future of YouTube and what I think is going to happen. And in my opinion, it's not very good. The state of YouTube in 2019 is probably the worst it's been in years, and the amount of censorship is so controlled that people cannot express their opinions anymore, and cannot express free speech without being classed as hate speech or offensive. And I know it's always good to keep out hate, but the fact is, you can't say anything anymore about anything without someone complaining and being offended. If YouTube creators do this, they are going to be demonetized, and there's no doubt about it. And I think YouTube is forgetting about its most important asset, the creators. YouTube now is more focused on the advertisers than their creators. I joined YouTube back in 2015 and I was only about 10 at the time, and back then I wasn't focused on anything. I didn't look at the ads or complaints, I would just make videos for what I loved, and I loved making videos. I'm slowly being turned away now, as YouTube now is more focused about drama and complaining, and I just want this place to be somewhere where people can express themselves. My next point is money, and how YouTubers now are more concerned about monetary gain than the content they make. It's easier to crap out a 10-minute video of something clickbaity and awful than to produce something original. And in the field of which I create, it is more difficult to be able to make money, and I know I'm not monetized at the moment, but the people that are, and the people that do try to make original content, are shunned upon by the people who can make a clickbaity video and get millions of views, and crap out one of these every week. Original content is so hard to find these days. Thanks for listening to my part of this collaboration, and thank you for Liam for having me. I hope you enjoyed. Bye.
Hey, I'm Miss Lola.
As someone who studies history, one of the first things we're taught in research methods is not to use history to predict the future. Seeing as that's my skill set, it's hard to really say what I think the future of YouTube will be, but I have a few thoughts. Firstly, as far as topics go, I don't see beauty, travel, or video games losing traction. But I don't see pranks or family vlogs remaining popular for much longer. There's denouncing and general eye-rolling happening on Twitter and Reddit, which is a pretty good indicator. Secondly, I think podcasts are beginning to falter a little. I've noticed that some popular YouTubers will have podcasts that they must constantly advertise in order to get people to listen to. Thirdly, I think the level of editing is rising and will continue to do so. Commentary styles of just ranting your opinion unedited or over generic gameplay, or with little animated avatars, are definitely losing traction. I think commentators will need to at very least learn to put a slideshow together or get comfortable in front of the camera if they want to create a truly dedicated and enthusiastic audience. People tend to attach themselves to personalities, you know? And finally, I think a lot of popularity is being granted to more intellectually rigorous channels in the past few years, and that's a trend I see continuing. YouTube used to be highly disparaged by more conventional intellectual sources, but lately it's definitely rising in popularity. I think watchers want to be challenged and engaged more than they're given credit for. On the other hand, I don't see YouTube's problem with rampant hate speech, conspiracy theory, or harassment going away anytime soon. Humans intent on spreading their message are going to adapt to using dog whistles faster than any algorithm or moderator team can keep up. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Thanks for having me on.
So, personally, I think that the future of YouTube, this is going to be very obvious, but it's not too bright, it's not too amazing. I do think that currently YouTube is in a bit of a cycle right now where you have a bunch of things getting worse and worse, and then all of a sudden YouTube does one or two things that looks a little bit better, but then they go back to being worse and worse. I do think in some areas YouTube does and has improved from 2012 and prior, but in terms of subject material and editing and everything, YouTube, I don't want to say it isn't as good or anything, because that is extremely subjective. I think that it is not as simple or as charming as it used to be. I do think there are still amazing content creators out there, but I think the main problem with YouTube currently is that they keep on shooting themselves in the foot. They keep on killing their own platform. I think the future of YouTube will result in YouTube killing itself. The idea that internet content has to be advertiser friendly has created a huge creative restriction on people, and furthermore has created a huge boundary and barricade for people that make content that even commentates on more sensitive issues. I'm an optimistic person, or at least I try to be, and I really want YouTube to be a better place. I hope it gets better, but as of right now, I think the future of YouTube, I think that there's both alternative content, there's always going to be alternative commentary type content, but we are definitely seeing a shift from edgier internet content, from provocative content, to more manipulative corporate type content. And that's where I think YouTube is going currently. We're going a lot more corporate, and we're going less individual. Once again, I hope it becomes more individual focused, but I do think that we're going more corporate in terms of the overall general culture of the site.
Hey guys, Robin and Zephyr here. I'm Robin, that's Zephyr.
Hello.
And we're here to just kind of give a take on, like, what we think the future of YouTube is and, like, what it's going to be, I guess, in terms of, like, where the site is, where it's going, that sort of deal. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, that's the topic of the video, so.
Right. But just cutting straight to the chase, I feel like ultimately the future of YouTube is very consistent and very cynical, if I'm going to be completely straight. Like, sorry, you go.
No, you go.
I feel like the general tone of where the future of YouTube is going is that a lot of people are very dissatisfied with the way YouTube is currently situated and the changes that it consistently keeps making. There's been very few changes that YouTube has made that have received a genuinely positive response on the whole. Most of the changes YouTube makes are met with confusion or outright contempt by the majority, if not the entirety, of the users on the site. So, I don't see YouTube getting any better. In complete honesty, I see it getting much, much worse. However, at the same time, YouTube has a complete monopoly, or an effective monopoly at the very least, on the entire online video market. The alternatives are literally just bullshit like Vimeo. So, if you want to go to a site to get actually good content on the site, you're going to go to YouTube. And that's where most people are going to go to create content for the web, for the internet in video form. They're going to go to YouTube. So that's where all the advertisers go, because they want to make money and get heard and get seen on YouTube. So everyone goes to YouTube, so no one ever leaves YouTube. In complete honesty, I don't see anyone ever leaving YouTube unless someone creates a strictly better option in every regard that causes multiple people in droves to flock to it because YouTube has shit itself so completely and nobody wants to lie in that bed anymore. And if enough people commit to that, then I could see advertisers following. However, I don't see that happening. So I think YouTube is going to consistently get worse and worse, as it has been, but I don't think anything's going to change. I think YouTube's monopoly is more or less secured.
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything I was gonna say too.
Shoot.
But I think, yeah, nope, I have nothing else to add, actually. That was everything I wanted to say.
Well, shoot, I'm sorry I stole your thunder.
Oh well.
Well,
Honestly, the site is gonna fucking shut down. We're all just gonna get demonetized and cry. But at least they'll have no competition. Please, this is not a joke. My wife and kids are very hungry and I need to feed them, please. End Kappa.
Hi, my name is Miamina. I am a newer YouTuber. I do readings of stories of authors that are in the public domain, as well as modern horror and also original works that have been put out as well. And I have gotten permission from either the author or I have written them myself. I was asked to talk about the future of YouTube, and I keep starting this and stopping it, and because of the changes that are going on right now. There are a lot of changes going on with YouTube right now, and a lot of things that people are getting upset about that they didn't notice was there to begin with, so all of a sudden it's a problem. There is no way to get away from the COPA issue. I see people saying, oh, I'm going to go to Twitch, or I'm going to go to DLive, or I'm going to go here, or I'm going to go there. I'm going to get away from YouTube because YouTube's having a problem with COPA. No, YouTube's not having a problem with COPA. The whole internet's having a problem with COPA. And one of the things we need to do is actually stand up and tell the FTC that they are being asked to make a unconstitutional law, and they are reaching out of their scope of COPA. COPA was supposed to give the parents the power to protect their children. They were supposed to keep children's information from getting to bad people. We aren't bad people, first of all. Second of all, we don't get any of that information. And nobody under the age of 13 is supposed to be with an account on YouTube. If a parent has given a device and signed a child in that is under 13, that is the parent's choice. The FTC is supposed to give the choice to the parents, and they don't need to be taking the choice away from the parents, which is what they are doing with the changes that they are proposing for COPA. That needs to be taken care of. You need to go, you need to sign the petition, and you need to leave the FTC a comment. And you do this on their format, and you leave them a comment, and you tell them, don't be mean, don't belittle them, don't call them names, don't do anything derogatory. Be friendly. Be nice. Be factual. Do your homework before you go in there. Watch the Pusa Studios videos. Watch the lawyer videos. And make sure that you know what you're going to say. The other problems, the TOS, you see problems with that. They're talking about the reduce of income from the AdSense. Well, that's going to be mostly due to COPA. That's not going to be mostly due to anything but COPA. They have been telling us to be family friendly for years, and now all of a sudden they don't want us to be family friendly because of COPA. It's not that they don't want us to be family friendly. They don't want us to make content for children under the age of 13. Also, if you make content people over the age of 18, you're going to lose all your money because you're going to fall under that age restricted list. And that does demonetize you completely. You can't make any money off of anything that is age restricted. I don't even think you can get super chats on it. So there's a lot of information out there. Some of it's really bad information. YouTube has made some gray areas that do not need to be there. I can go with that. It's not YouTube that's doing the COPA stuff. It's the FTC, and we can make a change. If we make it before December 9th, we can make a change with that if we let our voices be heard. Let them know that we as creators do not have complete ownership of our information. When we put it up there, YouTube puts labels on our work. YouTube keeps the information of the people that are listening to us. YouTube has all that information. We don't get to see it. We don't get to touch it. So we should not be responsible for what they put on us. This is something else that is being fought in Europe. The European Union has got a law that says that they can't do that without telling them what they're putting on there. They're getting ready to pass a similar law here in the United States. Not sure if Canada's got one or not. But this is something that needs to be fought. And they don't want to talk to us. They were willing to talk to the representatives and the lawyers, but they were not willing to talk to a YouTube creator. Why not? Why don't they want to talk to us? Why don't they want to face us? Why can't they give us clear, concise rules that tell us this is what you need to do? This is what you need to have. I understand there are some things that they need to keep it very vague because they are trying to keep those elements out that are derogatory and are the trolls. We all know the trolls, the hate groups, the people like that none of us want around. But they need to give the rest of us what we need to be able to function as creators. We need to be able to say, this is my work. This is what it is. This is where it's going. And we need to be able to be proud of that. I was told when I first started doing YouTube, like your videos. Be the first one to like your video. Because if you don't like it, nobody else is going to like it. And that's not entirely true, but you're showing people that it's okay to like it by liking it. Other people have turned off the likes and dislikes because of trolls. People coming up and automatically disliking it. Without even looking at it, they dislike it. And that's a shame as well. I'm staying with YouTube. I am going to support YouTube. I don't know anywhere else that I could go that would give me the options that I have with YouTube. I am not one that I want to show my face. It's not that I'm particularly ugly. I just don't want to show my face. I'm also not one that is willing to do a live stream every time I do something. And I don't want to have to not have a history of those live streams or my videos when I put them up. Now, yeah, I keep them on my computer, which I'm going to have to get a bigger hard drive for. But there's not anywhere where you can do what we do on YouTube that is a viable substitute for YouTube at this point. Now, there may be other platforms out there that do what YouTube does, but they don't have the following. YouTube has the following. Yes, YouTube has gotten away from what it used to be. We're not allowed to do the booby shots like you did when you first got there. Yes, I said that. You're not allowed to do a lot of the things that people did that got YouTube in trouble. And I can understand that. We, as smaller YouTubers, need to know where those lines are. YouTube needs to tell us where those lines are. If you demonetize me, which I'm not monetized yet, so it doesn't matter anyway. But if you demonetize me, tell me why. Give me a clear, concise answer why you have demonetized me. Don't tell me, well, we sent you an email. Well, the email doesn't tell you anything. I've seen those emails. I've got friends that have been demonetized. The emails don't tell you anything. Was it the word that I used in the title? My title said wrath. Is that the word that got me in trouble? My title said hell. Is that the word that got me in trouble? Or was it the fact that I was talking about a criminal case? Why are criminal cases that are talked about in a documentary treated different than criminal cases that are treated as a documentary from a news source? Why is there a difference in the way they're treated? There shouldn't be. They're the same thing. And that's why I say YouTube needs to give us clear and concise information on what we need to do. If you demonetize us, tell us why. If you pull something down, tell us why. Yeah, the copyright strike is not perfect. It's not going to be perfect, people. It's not going to work perfectly. We have a hard time of getting, any kind of monetary support for what we do. If you spend 40 hours a week working on your YouTube channel, I guarantee you are being paid under minimum wage from YouTube. And YouTube will say, well, that's okay because I'm not your boss, unless you have a problem. And then I am your boss and you can go see HR. But if you don't have a problem, I'm not your boss. You're an independent contractor. Well, YouTube, you can't have it both ways. We are either self-employed independent contractors using your platform, or we are employees that you are paying to do content on our own. You have to settle on one or the other, but either way, we deserve to be treated like people, and we need to be treated like intelligent people because we all are. YouTube is going to have a good future if it can do things that it needs to do. And right now, it's needing to make those changes. It's needing to do those changes now. 2020, there's a lot of changes coming, and I hope and pray that they are the right ones, because I like YouTube. I do, and I want to stay here. And I think YouTube could have a really great future if YouTube will just do what they need to do to make it clear to us as creators what we need to do to help them make this platform viable for all of us. Thank you.
Why, hello. I've been selected to talk about the future of YouTube. Oh boy. I'll keep it brief. I've been on this platform since like 2010. I've seen an evolution through the past 9 years where people just made these short videos on this really obscure program. There was either animation, comedy skits, commentaries on whatever was going on in the mainstream media, so on and so forth. And even if you got like a sponsorship or you even showed any signs that you were gaining money from a bigger company to help grow your channel, you were shamed for it. You were considered the scum of the earth and a sellout for even considering being sponsored by a big name company. But nowadays, that's kind of the norm now. If you got a sponsorship or you were featured anywhere in like the mainstream whatever, you were praised for it. You get a lot of love and it means you're getting up in the world, and it kind of means you're starting to become famous. YouTube just kind of meshed into another mainstream program if you really think about it. Like a lot of just TV programs or anything like that. It's just become just another version of that, and a lot of people really don't seem to think that, where YouTube is just so quote-unquote unique to compared to, I guess, other standards when it comes to media entertainment. To me, it's just kind of become another version of it, but it's just more independent based, which can give a lot of talented people more recognition than they deserve. Some more than others. I mean, we have all the seeds like, Jake Paul, or just to list a number of people who have done terrible things for publicity and stuff like that. In many cases, it's just the same thing being done, just with a different face. And that's just me being a cynic about it. To me, I think it can be considered positive because there are a lot of people who want to create things, and this platform gives a lot of opportunity for that. It's harder now, especially since of the unfairness of the advertisers putting YouTube in a corner because of one video that involved an advertisement with Coca-Cola and ISIS, but apparently that was just too much for them. I don't know, I don't really remember that situation, but to me, I just think it's just really unfair. I think there is a way to change the platform and kind of bring it back to its former glory, even if it means like taking a few risks here and there. I just feel like since YouTube was evidently just scolded for something that was barely under their control, that means they basically had to shame and do a bunch of stuff to fix it, even though it's just causing much worse damage than needed. it's a very broken system, and the only real issue I've ever had with it is just how unprofessional the staff and the CEO of YouTube is, but that's a discussion for another day. To me, YouTube can evolve over time, and it can end in two ways. One, it becomes a massive success that shows the revolution of, you know, in the entertainment industry, or two, it's gonna completely collapse in on itself, and it's just gonna be gone forever, and then everybody's just gonna lose what they thought was gonna last forever. It could really mean anything, really. I like to always stay on the positive side of things when it comes to the future of stuff, but you never know. Like, the next year or two, something could happen to cause YouTube basically go into like a Great Depression collapse, or something could happen to make YouTube even greater than it was before. You never know. We just move so quickly, and we just don't know what to do about it sometimes. To me, YouTube has just become a independent entertainment industry, if you really think about it. People can do things that will evidently make them famous, or it won't. It just helps bring out all the creativity in people, whether they're artists, they're commentators, they're, you know, editors, they're anything, really. It's just such a broken system that we get a bit, you know, skeptical on who deserves it and who doesn't. So, I don't know. This is very unscripted, I apologize. But I honestly think that the future of YouTube could end on a very normal note. I don't really think it's gonna grow significantly, like it's gonna take over the world. That's Disney's job, but who knows? Maybe Disney might buy YouTube. Imagine that. Oh, that'd be a mess. But I think with just a few right steps, YouTube can become something interesting, and maybe there can be changes that'll lead to much more different type of video content out there. It just depends on the future and the people who are willing to take that step to reach it, you know? I know it's hard. I know a lot of people are just, like, thinking YouTube is just a very difficult job, especially with demonetizing being such a huge thing now. But, hey, if you're like me and you just do it just for the fun of it, and never really made a dime off of your videos, like, ever, you find yourself having much more fun with it than you realize, and then maybe someday you could make money off of it. I don't plan on it because I just not really a fan. Plus I have other priorities. But hey, if you think you have that, then you can change the future. That's what a lot of people teach us, right? Just do something and make it brighter, I suppose.
Hey, I'm Made of Potato here to tell you about the future of YouTube, because if anyone's going to know about the future of a huge company, it's going to be some random 16-year-old on the internet. Yeah. So, the first thing I reckon is going to happen is, YouTubers, they're not going to be just random people doing what they love anymore. YouTube's going to start charging for every video you make, so only the big businesses who will be earning something back will be able to actually make videos in the first place. So you'll just see, you know, Walmart making daily vlogs or something. It's going to be like Wendy's Roast, but it's going to be Wendy's like Q&A. Yeah. So the average YouTuber is going to be forced to quit unless they're rich enough to waste their money on making videos every day. And also there'll probably be a lot more ads, you know, because, I don't know. Yeah, it just seems every scenario there's just going to be more ads for YouTube, so, you know. Oh well. Guess I'll see you on freaking TikTok or something later, Bob.
Hey everyone, my name's Harry Atomic and I'm here to talk about what I think the future of YouTube is going to be. Now first, some background on me. I run a gaming-esque channel where we just talk about Xbox and all things Xbox related. I'm a video game collector. I've been making videos on YouTube for years now, and I've seen a lot of trends come and go, so hopefully this will make some sort of sense. So ultimately what I think is going to succeed on YouTube in the future is value. Now I don't mean that in a way of monetary value, like, you know, paying money to get something in return, but I mean that type of value that makes you feel like you really got something out of an experience. Like whenever you watch a video that teaches you how to do that thing that you've wanted to learn how to do, that kind of value is the kind of value that I'm talking about. In more concrete terms, I also think that longer form videos are going to start doing a lot better on YouTube. For a long time, people's fear fear of the algorithm kind of forced people into small boxes where they were creating 10-minute videos that only focused on certain types of content, and things became very niche. However, in recent times I've noticed that those walls are starting to break down, and I've started to see people embrace the algorithm a bit more rather than be afraid of it. Shows such as Down the Rabbit Hole and Don't Hug Me I'm Scared regularly clock on videos at over an hour, and they are so well researched that they wouldn't be out of place on Netflix. However, shows like this have found a home on YouTube because of its more direct connection with the audience. Having a direct connection with your audience is probably one of the most important things on YouTube, and it's through that avenue that people will ultimately be judged on the value that they create. For example, on my channel, I run one video every single week fully dedicated to a question asked by the community. As well as that, I also run a Discord where I stay in full contact with my community at all times. The reason for this is because that is why I'm here making videos. It's the reason why that I think a lot of people on YouTube are making videos. It's more just to have that connection with other people, and if you can provide value to the people that are consuming your videos, then I think that you'll do well on YouTube. As more people are finding success under these philosophies, I feel that this will inspire more people to take up the mantle and follow in their footsteps. And now a lot of these ideas that I'm talking about here are ideas that I've gotten from talking to other creators. I'm slowly starting to see other creators kind of dip their toe in the water outside of those harsh guidelines that we were all kind of held to years ago, and people are starting to let their creativity kind of flow a bit more freely on YouTube without the fear of like bad monetization, bad stuff happening, oh no, my YouTube channel's gonna go away. And the success that people are finding now probably couldn't have been found a few years ago, and I think that speaks to the massive shift creatively that's currently happening on YouTube as a platform. Now this is also the reason why that I encourage as many people as possible to get into YouTube. There is no better time to get started on YouTube. 5 years ago I heard people say it was saturated, and look at how many people have built big followings in the last 5 years, and trust me, in 5 years time people will say that it's saturated. There will never be an environment that is too saturated for your own unique brand of value that you can give to people. You yourself and the things that you're interested in can be presented in such a way that'll be valuable for other people that are following in your footsteps. So have a bit of confidence, dive in, get involved, and ultimately I think that in a really cheesy way we'll all kind of be the future of YouTube. Maybe that was a bit too cheesy, who knows. Anyways, if you want to hear more from me, my name is Harry Atomic and I run the Harry Atomic Xbox gaming channel for Xbox people who like Xbox. I try to do 3 videos every single week. The first video is always a more sort of planned out Xbox video. The second one, which I've sort of mentioned already, is Community Day, where I take something that the community asks for and make a video on it. And the third video is where we stay up to date with all the latest Xbox news. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you all next time.
The future of YouTube in a lot of ways seems to be navigating a strange minefield of algorithmic changes that some schizophrenic weirdo walking into work on 2 hours of sleep made. It's like, hey, so we want kids-friendly content, but also if you make kids-friendly content, you can't get monetized because we don't want to market to kids. But also, if you make content that's too adult, you won't get monetized either, so you have to find this magical middle ground where YouTube won't fuck you. And even then, there's no guarantee because the whole thing is broken regardless. Content-wise, I sincerely have no idea what the future will hold, because when the big algorithm change happened in 2013 to 2014, where YouTube murdered all the animators, gaming content ruled supreme, and that was basically the one form of content that was pushed the most. But since then, it's gone in all kinds of strange directions. Vlog content, news content, filming dead bodies content, gaming content, review content, all kinds. And I suppose diversity is a good thing, but in summation, tough times ahead for anybody trying to make a career doing YouTube content. Basically, you're fucked. It's not gonna work, okay?
Hello, my name is Ghost. I believe what most people would say if you asked them what the future of YouTube would be, I think most of them would say it's rather bleak. But for me, I don't think that's the case. I don't really think YouTube is gonna go down a necessarily like really dark path. Like a lot of people, when you ask them, is just like, "Hey, what's the future of YouTube?" They say something like, "Oh, the golden years are gone, and it's all over. No more fun, no more like creative people." No more creativity. It's all out the window. Everybody's become a hack. I don't think that's the case. There's a few communities that I've seen that have been in the uprising a little bit for the future of YouTube. And personally, I think that a lot of them show a lot of great promise of being in the spotlight. Like, the commentary community may have been stuck around, for a few years, and now they're on their way out the door. That's fine. Or they're not on their way out the door. I don't really know. I don't really pay attention to the commentary community as much anymore. But there are some communities, such as the artist community, and so much more than just every other community, just out there. Just everything that's popular right now is gonna change in a little bit, and I think that brings more creative people. There's also a lot more kids who are starting channels left, right, and center, and some of them may be bad, some of them may be good, but a lot of them may be inspired to keep doing the YouTube thing. And I think kids nowadays are more creative than ever. You got some kids who are doing full-fledged animation projects with small YouTubers and all that kind of stuff. And animation, as we all know, is pretty hard. And if kids can do it, that's a big thing. That's a big deal. So, future's pretty bright, I guess. For me, at least. For other people, they may not really care that much about animation and art and all that kind of stuff. That's their opinion. That's for them. But for me, I think it's bright. I think the youth of today will make good YouTubers, decent YouTubers, maybe even better than the golden age. But who knows? Only time will tell. Thanks for having me on.
Hey guys, so this is Krycklund Does Animating, and my channel is Animating, as you could probably tell from my name. So, what do I think the future of YouTube will be? I'm personally very excited to see the future of YouTube animation. I'm really looking forward to seeing new animation channels rising up and becoming more popular. I have so many friends with channels that are so good, and I can't wait for more people to find their content. I also really enjoy any sort of video game related video, so I do really love video game related content. I want to make some of that at some point, but I'm really excited to see what the future of YouTube holds for that too.
Hey, who wants to hear me get really negative about the future of YouTube? Any takers? No? Well, too bad, I'm gonna do it anyway. I am concerned about the future of YouTube, and not necessarily in the context of their longevity, but more on the basis of their identity. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like YouTube, in their haste to become the new TV, might just be losing what made them unique in the first place. You might have noticed that in recent years, YouTube has been getting closer to larger TV networks, and getting them to put their shows up on the platform. Late night shows, news networks, etc. Undoubtedly, from a business perspective, this is only a good thing. After all, that content is safe and monetizable, and people watch those shows by the millions. So, if you're only looking at the finance side of things, this is great for YouTube. But in their effort to push safe, easily monetizable content, it seems like they're giving increasingly less attention to the unique content created by the YouTubers who popularize the website. And again, from a business perspective, this makes some sense. Now, it might sound like I'm advocating for YouTube to snub its creators, but stick with me here, okay? Fact is, the individual content creators are wildcards. Sure, most of the time they're probably going to create content that's just as safe and monetizable as the content by larger companies. However, sometimes a safe content creator might just upload a video that's a little less monetizable. I'm sure you all remember Logan Paul's little excursion in Japan. And videos like Logan's, as you may have guessed, come with controversy, and thus fewer ads and less money. After all, what company in their right mind would want their ads playing on videos like that, right? So YouTube needs to make a decision. Stick with the individual content creators and hope beyond all hope that they won't do something stupid, or stick with the large networks and have some relative peace of mind. Again, from just a business perspective, this makes sense. However, I'm worried that if they keep going in the direction they are now, they'll lose what made YouTube so amazing in the first place. It's not an exaggeration to say that the YouTubers make this website what it is. Without the individual content creators putting their videos on this site, YouTube would have just stayed a failed dating site. And that's why I believe YouTube has a good thing going here, even with the inherent risk that comes with anybody being able to upload anything. YouTube is the birthplace of many amazing content creators, people who have shaped the internet in ways that I can't even begin to explain, and it all started right here. That's something that very few platforms can claim, if any of them can claim it at all. And that's something YouTube risks losing if they go all in on this new TV business. If you'll indulge my paranoia for a moment, let's say that I'm right and that YouTube just used the individual content creators as a stepping stone to greater monetary gains. What do they stand to lose? Well, like I said at the beginning, their identity. YouTube currently has a reputation as a launching pad for mostly unrecognized talent, among other things. But if they were to abandon those roots and instead opt to just host late-night shows, the news, and cartoons and the like, well, they would just be the new TV. And I mean, the writing's on the wall for traditional TV. It's going the way of the dodo. And something's gotta fill that gap. And YouTube is poised to do so. And when that eventually happens, YouTube's gonna have a choice to make. Now you might be thinking, Eric, this is all kinda tinfoil hatty, don't you think? Aren't you blowing things out of proportion? And honestly, I hope so. I hope that I'm just being crazy and paranoid and that YouTube is gonna stick with their content creators and hold on to their identity as a platform for everyone. That is my honest hope as someone who wants to, eventually, build a successful channel. I want YouTube to thrive as a platform for individual creators, but I'm concerned that they might just follow the money right to becoming just another streaming platform amid many, many others. Here's hoping that doesn't happen. Well, on that down note, that's everything I had to say. I hope everyone else here has a brighter outlook on YouTube's future than I do. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you later. Thanks for having me on, Liam.
Hello again, my name is Junkie, and if you weren't aware of who I was, then, well, now you know. So, LD asked what my thoughts were on the future of YouTube, and my answer to that is just meh. I'm really not sure where the site will be going in the future, well, with how the site handles itself and how secretive they can be. It's become such a commonplace thing that people just expect it all the time, and it's depressing because it shouldn't be like this. Communication is such a powerful tool, and YouTube just refuses to listen. It's even more apparent that YouTube doesn't give a crap when Nerd City, a YouTuber who experimented with hundreds of words for video titles and in the thumbnails, and found damning evidence that the bot, the demonetization bot, purposely demonetizes those in the LGBT community, and the only way for the people in that said community to stay monetized is to either censor themselves or just not bring up what their community is about. It's really sad, honestly, but if there's one thing that made me happy about the future of YouTube, is that the community has been growing strong and constantly looks out for one another. So, I may not be looking forward for what the YouTube staff has in store, but I am, however, looking forward to what the community has in store for us in the future of YouTube.
What is going on, guys? Spywire here, and I want to personally thank Liam for allowing me to have the opportunity to have my voice as part of this collab. If you guys haven't checked out any of Liam's stuff, I highly recommend you do so. Now, I'm going to be stating something that I previously recorded, as well as adding on to it based off of what YouTube has recently changed / added. If you guys haven't seen the recent scare / concerns regarding the verification or verified checkmark that YouTube has, just any decision that YouTube has made over the past year has been intensely scrutinized and overanalyzed and picked apart and given pros and cons and likes and dislikes, and my statement my stance still stands as it really depends on what they decide to do. The future of YouTube really determines, like, you know, it depends on what they decide to do with the company, with the platform, with the site, whether it be, in this case, changing what they do with the verifications, changing what they do with the sub feed, changing what they do with just anything that involves creators, viewers, whether it be, you know, things that people don't like annotating or like shortening the view count or the subscriber count, so to speak. Things that people do like changing the way that people are able to, you know, interact with certain types of content. In my opinion, I think that a lot of their recent changes have been to please the sponsors and the advertisers and the, you know, big name brands, and not a lot has been put towards the creators, and anything that they believe goes towards the creators have either fallen short or have kind of overextended themselves, and we as creators are suffering as a consequence. A lot of things that they've done in the past involving the LGBTQ community, or just anything controversial in general, it's either been swept under the rug, or they've made like blanket fixes to change things. Some stuff has worked, some stuff has not, and as a result, a lot of people have changed their format. A lot of people have turned to streaming on Twitch, on other platforms like Mixer or Facebook. Other people have turned to just, you know, being run off the platform in general. Demonetization is still rampant, and so a lot of people are not able to make a living on YouTube anymore. A lot of things like links and comments have been like completely messed with. Subscriber feeds have like insanely deteriorated over the course of, you know, the past couple of years, and of course the notification bell, things like that. On the flip side, the future of YouTube will continue to evolve. The same way that TV has evolved, the same way that radio has evolved. People will continually be nostalgic for a previous iteration of YouTube. The same way that people lament that, you know, TV used to be so good and now it's trash. They continually watch older videos and they don't really want to take a look at what's new. And maybe they do want to see what's new, and then everything else involving controversy. And so, again, it kind of loops back to the future of YouTube will be what it is. Whatever choices that they make, it depends. I'm all over the place, but then again, the future of YouTube is all over the place. I don't even know if it'll last a year or 10 years. I honestly wish that there is a definitive answer for this, and given this entire video in and of itself, there are going to be multiple answers, multiple mindsets. A lot of people will think differently from me. A lot of people will think that the future is positive, negative, so-so, in between, in the middle. Who knows? All I can say is that I really hope that they make a change for the better for everybody. I really would hope that. And as much as I love positive thinking, you know, I honestly doubt that that'll ever happen. I honestly doubt that there will be a definitive change where everybody's happy. If the creators are happy, then maybe the advertisers may not be happy, and vice versa. If one fan base or video demographic or type of audience member is happy, maybe there's another set of people that will be unhappy. Honestly, who knows at this point? So, yeah, that's my 2 cents. Hopefully you guys make something of it. Yeah, once again, thank you to Liam for allowing me to be on this amazingly, like, huge collab. So, yeah. Thank you.
Very random butterfly here, and what I personally think for the future of YouTube. Now, I've been watching YouTube since way back in 2006. I was watching crummy AMVs on dial-up, where a 2-minute video took 30 minutes to load, and a 30-minute video took 2.5 hours to load, and the quality was just, well, something to be desired. Thankfully, technology's improved, and YouTube has vastly changed since then. Back then, YouTube's slogan was, broadcast yourself. And it focused more on a lot of small content creators, putting themselves just out there in the world, and what we got was something special. But in the last few years, it seems like we've lost focus on the individual users, and more on the bigger corporations and companies that are sponsoring this. It makes sense. It's a good and cheap way of posting, say, like, music videos, commercials, and all this. It gets spread everywhere. But oftentimes, it does seem like they look down at the people who made up its site, who made YouTube back then. Now, I don't know what to say about the future of YouTube, especially with, you never know years down the line. It might be a situation where it just becomes the next Walmart, where essentially it's the best known. People aren't always happy with it, but they just deal with it anyway. Or maybe, let's say hypothetically, there's someone who could rival YouTube. Someone who doesn't look at the little guys and scoff at them. And if that happens, YouTube could be the next MySpace, if they refuse to change, of course. Because, yeah. To be honest, I really can't say. So, one day it might just be outdated, might be replaced with something better, or just might be something that just ends up worse and we end up tolerating it.
I believe with the future of YouTube that it might go down, with the cases of demonetization when channels shouldn't get demonetized, and copyright strikes. For example, with the copyright, people could be going and giving perfect credit to the original makers of a meme or a song and all of that jazz, making it perfectly fine in the credit for copyright. But they get a copyright strike because there's a bot that goes, oh, this is someone else's song and they're using it. Copyright. Same with the monetization. YouTube should have a team that goes in and checks every single one to see if it's okay with copyright or not. That's honestly what I believe will go down with YouTube's future. Hopefully, they will get better.
It's me, Mario. Today we're going to be eating the meatballs and...
Hello dude, nice to meet you. My name's Liam and I wanted to ask you if you would like to be featured in my new video, The Future of YouTube. It's going to be a 100 creator collab and it's freeform so you can put in your own words and say whatever you want. Oh sweet! I guess I could just say the usual things everyone says. You know, YouTube has its shortcomings, like the dumb algorithm hindering our growth, animators becoming too samey, and then I'll maybe end it off with a message of hope, that despite our issues, we are one of the most wholesome communities. Nothing can take that away from us. Yeah, something like that. Seems easy enough. I have plenty of time to make this. I'll come back to it.
4 to 6 weeks later.
Huh? Hi dude, if I can get your part for the collab soon, thanks. Huh, I should probably get on that. The future of YouTube, right? Shortcomings, animators, hope? Easy. Before I start, maybe I should check up on what's happening on... Well, this just got a whole lot more complicated.
We are one people, with one will, one cause.
They really just favor quantity over
Some
quality.
people who don't put any effort into videos
make the algorithm favorable for animators who upload once or twice a month.
Don't ask them to change. That's YouTube.
Don't even bother asking about YouTube. They're never gonna change.
YouTube has a lot of problems. It's been having problems for a while now, and these problems just keep on accumulating. And I'll tell you right now, YouTube is far from being the idealistic utopia for content creators that so many people dream of. Far from it. Because of one simple fact. YouTube is a business, and it's having a damn hard time trying to be one. Now, that is not to say that businesses are bad. I'm not anti-capitalist, but in YouTube's case, its problems stem from the fact that they are a relatively new kind of business. So it's understandable that they're having a hard time navigating a playing field that hasn't been touched before. Same could be said when TV, radio, or even theater of the olden days came about. They had a tough time adapting as well. And so did regulations. Especially regulations. Evidently, with all this talk of COPPA and the FTC, I'm sure you've seen plenty of videos regarding this, so I'm not going to bother repeating what's been said, but this is a prime example of a system scrambling to adapt, struggling with reforming outdated laws, keeping advertisers and creators happy, trying to appeal to everyone, but ending up appealing to no one. Or perhaps just one.
It's very few people, very few sites are actually talking about who is pushing this through. They're just kind of blaming the FTC. They're not looking into who actually pushed it through. Ed Markey, we're going to talk about Ed Markey now. Senator Markey from Massachusetts is the original House author of COPPA. Was real good friends with Disney. Here's where the rabbit hole runs deep. Media giants are big donors to Markey. Time Warner, AT&T, Comcast, Sprint, Viacom, Disney.
Now, what do you notice about those names? A lot of them have streaming services coming out. If people are going to places like YouTube, how the heck are they supposed to get all kinds of people to back their streaming services? Well, you get rid of YouTube.
How it's going to be spun is your kids aren't safe on YouTube. Well, it's a good thing that they're safe over here on Disney Plus. This is where it gets tricky because basically the language is so vague, it can be abused at any point in time.
Right, that's why they did it, I'm sure, so they can abuse it to whoever the media tells them. Whoever the government decides. They're trying to destroy YouTube.
Destroy YouTube. This is another attempt, and it could possibly be Hollywood. They're threatened by YouTube. They want to control things, especially with the streaming wars coming.
A war it is. As with any business, there is competition, and YouTube's got their hands full with a lot of them. Traditional media is dying, and everyone in the entertainment industry knows it. Streaming services are their last hope at keeping a foothold in the market. Corner a rat and watch it bite, as they say, and biting back they are. They know how much of a disoriented mess this system is, and they know how inexperienced lawmakers are.
People making laws on this stuff don't own cell phones in 2019.
Media outlets will take full advantage of this and use people like Ed Markey with connections to push these regulations in their favor. As much as we are currently bashing on YouTube and the FTC, they are not our real enemy. YouTube doesn't want this happening either. Our enemy are the media conglomerates, jealous that the average Joe is creating animated content at home or just recording themselves playing a video game and are getting more views and are more enjoyed than their expensive studio-produced content. In their monopolistic minds, we are stealing valuable watch time from them. So essentially, this whole situation, under the guise of protect the kids, is really a battleground for getting eyeballs. And this battle will just keep on happening. As of recent though, COPPA seems to be clarifying their regulations after massive pushback from creators, but this is just a simple pawn lost in the larger game of corporate chess. The media will just keep coming back and coming back. They've done so in the past, digging up more dirt on Google and YouTube, finding new ways to demonize YouTube celebrities. They will do everything in their power to make YouTube seem like the bad guy. And we are not helping, because we see them as bad guys too. Yes, YouTube has its problems, but to win this battle, we need to work with them as much as possible. And YouTube needs to listen to us and be fair to us. Whether or not we will ever form a stable relationship, I cannot say, but it is our only hope.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed this. And of course, I'll have links to every single channel featured in the video below, so if you want to check them out, please do so. The channels, of course, being Just Jargon, The Names Junkie, Miss Lola, Icy Hazard, Faye Ghost, Mia Mina, Captain, spelled incorrectly for some reason, Dumsville, Robin and Zephyr, Harry Atomic, Caitlin Does Animating, 2-Bit Creations, Spywee's Mind Palace, Very Random Butterfly, Kitten Saver, Communimate Animations, krycklund, Meta Potato, Jack Animations, BroFilms. I have part 3 of the series almost complete, so until I see you then, goodbye.